If you ever had any doubts about next generation Xbox being in development, fear no more. Microsoft is working on a new console and they just confirmed that the work on next gen Xbox is at full speed ahead. Let's look into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I would like to talk about next generation Xbox. And I know what some people will say, Matt, it's too early to talk about next gen hardware. The current gen consoles have been with us only for 3.5 years. And that's all true, especially that, well, it feels not even that, because really, when it comes to proper next-gen Xbox, we just actually started getting these titles just recently, really, all because of the COVID. COVID did delay a lot of game releases. So I know that this generation feels weird, and it is a weird generation. But looks like Microsoft has a bit different plans this time around. So after two very long generations, I'm talking about Xbox 360 and Xbox One generations, which both lasted around 8 years, I think. PlayStation 3 was on the market for 7 because they launched a bit later. But looks like after these two long generations, Microsoft wants to go first, and they will probably launch a bit earlier than PlayStation 6. So obviously we don't really have any dates set in stone, but I mean, rumors and leaks suggest that Xbox is planning to release a new console, or maybe even consoles, in 2026, late 2026, and PlayStation 6 probably going to launch 2027, 2028 maybe, right? Especially that they are launching PlayStation 5 Pro, which should give them a little bit of a, I guess, extra oomph in terms of graphics and everything, right? So, I mean, I guess, you know, people expecting more from the console, they will have Pro, while Xbox will just go ahead with next-gen console a bit earlier, right? Which kind of makes sense for Xbox, to be honest with you, for many reasons, and I'll probably talk about it in a minute. But anyway, so the fact that next-gen Xbox exists is nothing new, right? I mean, Sarah Bond did confirm that fact a couple of months ago during that official Xbox podcast in February, where she already said back then that the next Xbox is going to deliver the biggest technical leap ever, right? I mean, you know, in console space, I guess, right? Obviously, it's all PR talk, marketing talk, I get it. So, you know, don't expect too much. I mean, you know, it will be a better console, of course, right? But, you know, like every single time I hear that kind of stuff, I kind of like, yeah, I mean, what does that actually mean? Because that doesn't necessarily mean power, and there's some rumors suggesting that it may have something to do with new AI tech. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe ARM tech, who knows, right? We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But that was like 2 months ago, and now in an internal memo to Xbox employees, Sarah Bond, you know, and she's responsible for hardware things when it comes to Xbox now. She basically said that, and here's the quote, "We are moving full speed ahead on our next generation hardware, focused on delivering the biggest technological leap ever in a generation." So she kind of said pretty much the same thing she said during that podcast 2 months ago, but the thing is that, like, sounds like she kind of well, internally admitted that, yeah, I mean, it looks like they are really working on that console, and it may be coming sooner rather than later, if you know what I mean, right? I mean, she wouldn't be saying things like that probably if they had plans for that console to release in like 2028. So I already seen some people, like even Paul of Red Gaming Tech actually commented on that on Twitter yesterday, and he said that yeah, he's been hearing these things lately too, that next gen Xbox is going to probably release in 2026, maybe 2027, but the plan is to release it in 2026. But who knows, you know, things may get delayed and stuff. But, you know, generally speaking, the plan is to release next gen Xbox before PlayStation 6 drops, and Sony will not be rushing that for sure. I mean, they've got PlayStation 5 Pro, so it kind of makes sense, and that's why we're not going to get a Pro model from Xbox, right? You know, PlayStation 5 Pro is really going to be all about graphics. Yes, the performance when it comes to games like frame rates will improve in games that were GPU bound, or some titles that were memory bandwidth bottlenecked too, probably. And they've got this kind of new cool upscaling technology and stuff. We'll have to wait and see how that works actually, the results of that. But, you know, generally speaking, like PlayStation 5 Pro is just like, you know, a more powerful version of the same, which is fine, totally fine. And like, but Xbox is like, yeah, we're not going to be wasting our resources on that. We'll just start a new generation earlier, and it makes sense for Xbox. It doesn't make sense for PlayStation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that, oh, the thing that Microsoft does is better overall, and you know, and Sony should do the same, because they are in a totally different positions. I mean, PlayStation just sells, right? Like, it's overselling everything. And I know that they haven't reached some very ambitious goals, but they are still really like selling like hotcakes. So prolonging this generation, very successful generation for PlayStation, makes sense, right? While with Xbox, you know, it's not really a failure this generation at all, but you know, I guess, like, you know, they are finally getting these, you know, big releases from their first party studios. So I guess it's always nice, like PR wise, to start fresh, right? And so having all these games and new hardware, and you know, as long as they will keep on releasing these, you know, new games regularly, you know, next generation and earlier generation for Xbox may actually work to their favor. Not saying that they will beat PlayStation, whatever, because I don't think they can do that in hardware department, but you know, generally speaking, it may revitalize. I think that's the word. Xbox a little bit, because that was the big problem with Xbox. They haven't really launched with any software. I mean, new big games. That's what I mean, really. They had some like smaller titles as a launch titles, and you know, huge library of backwards compatible titles, enhanced and stuff, but still old titles. PlayStation did launch with a number of new games, and you know, Xbox had a big issue in 2022, so that kind of killed a lot of momentum for Xbox. And 2023 was a mixed bag too. They didn't really start well. Late 2023 was great with Starfield and Forza Motorsport, but now, you know, after that we're still waiting for new games. So it's still not perfect, right? So, you know, hopefully they will figure stuff out. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, the main point is new Xbox is coming. Sounds like it's coming sooner rather than later, and looks like they are really getting ready for next gen, and they are getting ready the new hardware, of course. Sounds like they will launch with handheld too, so that will be a big new thing too. And hopefully by that time they will have a huge library of games that will launch with the hardware, because You may have the best hardware ever, the most powerful, the most advanced technically, but if it won't have any games, like you know, games dedicated for that platform, they won't sell, right? It won't sell. Like Xbox One X, it was a great example. Really great console, Xbox One X. But you know, it did improve older games, but there wasn't really too many of the games that took a proper advantage of that hardware, right? And that was a sad thing to see. I mean, I guess it was actually funny because a lot of times third-party titles actually took a better advantage of that console than some of the first-party games, but that's another topic for another video probably. So anyway, guys, listen, a lot of good news lately when it comes to Xbox, and you know, finally people are starting to talk about things that Xbox does right. So games, Game Pass, now new hardware. So yeah, a lot of things to look forward to for sure. So guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.